Yeah, and we heard about, the bitter fallout between Guy and Gene Griffin on their sophomore album, 1991, 90 or 91, The Future, with tracks like Gotta Be a Leader and Total Control.
Exactly. Well, that's what happened. That's the essence of what happened from what I saw early. I saw early on, and thank God that they saw it later. But the sad thing is, you broke up a incredible group. It's almost like what happened to NWA, or a lot of great groups. I mean, you have these great artists with great chemistry and talent, and sometimes you have to go that road. But I'm glad they saw what happened, but I saw it a little bit early, and I knew what was going to take place. If he could manipulate me against Teddy, eventually he was going to try to take over everything, and sooner or later, Teddy and Aaron, the blunt of his, power.
Mm-hmm. So you think he also used those same tactics for his other groups like Today and Basic Black?
Oh, I know, because Today used to be under us. I mean, when you got to remember, when God came out, we still had, we were going to, like Today, like Big Bub, and then we had groups that we were developing that we liked. I mean, they was hanging around us during the process of the making of Guy. I came up with the name Guy. I mean, it was, and I'm not just saying it, it was my doing. I mean, it used to be a store on 125th Street at the time in 8th Avenue called Guy LTD, a men's clothing store. So our style came from that, and I named the group Guy. And at the time, a lot of Teddy, and we had a guy that played a major part with us, a guy by the name of David Peasley, he wrote for Dance Music magazine. He did interviews for that, and he supported us a great deal, and no one liked the name. No one liked the name, and so it finally stuck after a while, because no one could pick a better name, or no one could pick a name, period. So I came up with the name, and it stuck, and
it was all she wrote.
That's all she wrote.
Yeah, now, did you guys expect the whole New Jack Swing sound to take off as big as it was? Because Johnny Kemp and Keith Sweat kicked it off with Just Got Paid and Make It Last Forever, and then basically Guy just came and busted the door down.
Yeah, well, you got to remember, Keith Sweat is phenomenal. Keith Sweat is one of the pioneers of the at that time, 80s, of the young Keith. We lived 5 blocks from each other. So during the making of Keith Sweat, Teddy was involved with it, and Teddy took a lot of hours. At the time, we was writing for other people, but Teddy took the sound that we created, that him and I created a lot of, and gave, and put a lot of the backbeat and stuff on Keith Sweat record. And Keith Sweat, we were friends. We were from the same neighborhood, 5 blocks away from each other. I lived on 120th in Morningside Avenue. Keith Sweat lived on 125th in Morningside Avenue, and Teddy lived on 127th and 7th Avenue. So we were all in the same, and Johnny Kemp was from that area too, so we were all from that same proximity,
It's a small world after all.
Yeah. We were all from that same place, and Keith Sweat opened up the door with his first album,
Okay, you leaving Guy at that point. Basically, Bobby Brown's taking off, New Edition, Heartbreak taking off, Troop on the scene, and then tell me about the making of your debut solo record.
Well, the making of the solo record for me was I wish I would have been focused like I was, but I think that after I left Guy, I should have put more into the solo record, but it was during that time where I wasn't really as focused on the solo record as I was producing other artists. And I did Keith Sweat's second album, the first single on his second album, Make You Sweat. And I wrote that, and at the time I was doing Belle Biv DeVoe. At the time I was doing Christopher Williams. I did Stephanie Mills. And so I was really up in there. So I was caught up into the limelight and whatever. And at the same time, Tommy Boy, Monica Lynch, Tommy Boy Records, and Tom Silverman signed me to a solo artist, so I had to do a solo record. So I was running from place to place, so I just did what I thought was right. And I thought that, the first 5 or 6 singles, if you listen to the records, powerful songs,
Mm-hmm.
Help and Cheating, and those songs to me were very, very powerful. I'm sad that it didn't hit like it was supposed to, but then again, I wasn't promoting it like I was supposed to. So.
Right. And how did you come about writing Women I See You Smile Again for BBD, which also, I believe, co-written by Alton Wookie Stewart?
Yeah, that was my buddy, Alton Wookie Stewart. Great singer, great arranger, great background singer in his own right. It's a song that I wrote. I mean, I sit to the piano and a song that I, write from experiences or whatever, and they happened to hear it. We had a meeting with them up at Universal Studios, MCA Records, and at the time, Lil Silas Jr., who played a great part in my career along with Cassandra Mills. Lil Silas was the vice president of black music up at MCA, and at the time they were doing the Belle Biv DeVoe record because Ralph had his solo deal. They was coming off the Any Heartbreak album. But everyone branched off. Bobby, as you know, hit big. Ralph Tresvant was doing a record. Mm-hmm. And Johnny Gill did a solo record. So that left Belle Biv DeVoe, the 3 unexpected members of New Edition, to really hit as big as they did. So they heard a couple of songs, and they actually picked 5. But we only was able to put 2 on the record.
I believe, what was I Need You, the other record?
Yeah, I Need You and When Will I See You Smile Again.
Okay, 2 very big ballads, and basically Belle Biv DeVoe, they basically had the second biggest success out of New Edition as Bobby Brown.
Exactly. You know your stuff, man. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm definitely a big fan of that period. Now, what was your opinion on Troop out of California? Basically, they were like the West Coast New Edition, and their dance style was more street, as New Edition was very Temptation-esque.
Yes, exactly. Troop, well, I know Steve Russell, and Steve Russell and I did 1 or 2 songs together. He worked with me on Jasmine Guy record, Another Like My Lover, okay. And he also did songs for the Whispers and whatever. He did songs for B2K. He just did a Chris Brown record, Off the Wall. And he's a great, Steve is a major, major talent. Steve Russell, he's a singer. He's a singer. He's a hard worker, and he's a grinder. And he put his, and he still somehow remained in the game because he loved the business.
Right, yeah, definitely that.
He's a great, and Troop, to answer your question, yes, Troop was like very much street dancers, street dancers who, 2, 3, 4 of the members that can actually sing, like John, Allen, and Steve were the main 3 singers of that group. But yeah, they was more street oriented, and they had a big record that Chucky Booker produced for them called, Spread My Wings, which hit big. Mm-hmm. And the remake from the Jacksons, All I Do, which hit big. So
right.
It was a good group.
Definitely were a great group. One of my influences along with New Edition, but I believe some of the underrated groups of the New Jack period were High Five, Foursome D's, and Riff.
Yeah, Riff. That was what you call them, Jarrell Levert group. I believe. Riff. The what were they? No,
that was Rude Boys.
Yeah, Rude Boys, right. My mistake.
Yeah, I was talking about Riff, the guys that was from Lean On Me in the bathroom.
Yeah. Riff. Yeah, they came and went though quick, but they was a good group. Mm-hmm. They was a real good group.
Right, and everybody thought High Five was like going to be bigger because basically I Like the Way and She's Playing Hard to Get. Both of those tracks were R&B and pop hits. Right.
Well, a lot of those songs during that period of time, I Like the Way and Teddy we still had a lot of songs in the archives that I had written. I mean, we wrote so many songs, and a lot of those songs, even a song he did for Boy George, Don't Take My Mind on a Trip, that was a song we written together that Teddy was still, giving a different artist. But as far as High Five is concerned, and I heard that Tony, I just found out not too long ago that Tony Thompson passed away. Mm-hmm. He was a great singer, man.